going, I want to explain to you exactly what ketogenic means, because there's a lot of misconception out there and there's a lot of confusion. So most people think that if something is labeled keto or ketogenic, you can eat as much as you like and you're going to be healthy and you're going to lose weight, but it really isn't the case. What happens when we don't eat carbohydrates is our blood glucose drops and our insulin expression drops to match however much glucose is in the blood. So if we eat foods that are made with a majority of proteins and fats, we don't get a spike in blood glucose, and that's what being ketogenic or in a state of ketosis is really all about. So if you go and buy products or you eat products that have got flour, sugar, fructose, glucose in them, that's not ketogenic, and there's a lot of misconception out there on the market. So I'm going to teach you today how to make a proper ketogenic muffin using things like cold meat, eggs, cheese, and almond flour instead of your normal wheat flour, which is going to make all the difference if this is the kind of lifestyle choice you're wanting to try and experiment with if you're trying to lose weight or get healthy or just normalize all those blood biomarkers. So I'm going to start off with cracking 2 eggs into some yogurt. Now, you don't have to use yogurt. You can use buttermilk. You can use kefir, which is a fermented milk as well. You can use normal milk, you can use cow's milk. This is just the liquid that we're going to use to incorporate the rest of our ingredients. So what we want to do is just whisk this up really nicely. I'm using a full-fat yogurt here. Just need to incorporate this slightly, and the yogurt and the egg are going to keep our muffins nice and moist. If you want to go more plant-based, you can certainly use, say, a coconut yogurt or anything that comes to mind. That was really quick and it's nicely incorporated and smooth. So the next thing I've got here is a cup of almond flour. Now, almond flour is mostly fat and protein. So all of our dry ingredients are going to go in a big bowl. What I've got here is 100 grams of chopped up ham. You can use chicken, you can use any leftover meat that you've got, and I love repurposing leftovers, so nothing goes to waste. We've got 100 grams of cheese, could be cheddar, Gouda, Emmental, whatever you like, and about 50 grams of Parmesan, just for some flavor. And give that a nice stir, make sure everything is mixed up really beautifully. So next thing we're going to add our herbs and spices. I've got coriander here. Now, coriander is an acquired taste. Not everybody likes coriander. And there's actually a genetic mutation that determines whether or not you will like coriander. So some people love it and other people have a physical aversion to this. And it's actually genetic. It's something you can't help, which is really interesting. I'm also adding some oregano. Now, if you are that person who doesn't like coriander, you could add chives, you can do basil, it really doesn't matter. You can leave them out altogether. I just love the freshness and the greenness in the muffin as well. Then we've got a teaspoon of salt, and lastly a teaspoon of baking powder, just to make sure everything rises beautifully. I'm going to mix that up nice and make sure that nothing is left uncoated. And now what I want to add is our wet ingredients, and it's that easy. I'm going to scrape everything into our big bowl. And yeah, one of the things I do often, and I'm sure you do too, is we use too small a container and then you end up slopping over the sides, which it just does my brain in. So make sure that you've got a nice big container where you can really move around and make sure everything is well incorporated. Freedom to move when you are cooking is so important. All right, and there's no carbs in here. This is all protein and fats, and it's all good stuff. So now I'm going to put it into our muffin cases, which have been sprayed. Now, when we're not using wheat flour, sometimes the ingredients can stick. So I like to use a muffin lining, so just a paper lining, or you can use a silicone muffin tray. This makes about, I'd say about 6 medium-sized muffins, so there's enough of that. You can always double up your ingredients. You don't really want to fill them to the top because they are going to rise. You know, and I love this recipe for breakfast, especially on the weekends, especially if you're going for a hike. If you don't know what to make, you can put this in a lunchbox for your kids. Kids do actually love these. And what happens when you eat adequate protein and enough healthy fats is you don't go craving carbs later on in the day, which is crucial for your health in the long term. There's nothing worse than the 4 o'clock energy slump and you're hunting down something sweet. And that is really because you didn't get to eat enough protein through the day. Stick it in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes at 180 degrees, and there are your keto muffins. So these smell amazing and they taste even better than they smell. You can eat them just as is. You can add some butter, you can add sliced avocado. It's entirely up to you. Enjoy.